Hello, my name is Mr. Sharkyface, and I'm here to teach you about sharks. First, we must learn how sharks reproduce. Sharks reproduce by three distinct ways. First is the viviparous, the oviparous, and the ovoviviparous. First, the viviparous species include many large species like hammerheads, tiger sharks, and blue sharks. Viviparous species, much like mammals, are born live after developing inside their mummies. Each mother can hold up to 6 to 12 pups at a time, but oviparous species is a much different story. These egg-laying sharks take up 1/3 of all shark species. What happens with these sharks is that the female shark lays fertilized embryos in a safe place. The embryo hardens shells around them which protect them till they hatch. Oviparous species include wobbegongs and horn sharks. Then, the most common types of sharks is the ovoviviparous sharks. These sharks keep their fertilized eggs inside them till they hatch. Then they are born live. Kinda a mix between the first two ways of shark reproduction. Some examples of ovoviviparous sharks include white sharks and sand tiger sharks. Now it's time for me to tell you about the internal organs of sharks. Uh-oh. The shark's digestive system is very efficient at digesting almost anything. You are familiar with the mouth, esophagus, and stomach. It is somewhat like a human's. But the intestine is different. It is short and straight instead of twisty and long. It has a special feature with it called a spiral valve, a place where the intestine makes short zigzags that slow the flow but increase food absorption. Sharks also use their oil-filled livers to control buoyancy, instead of a swim bladder filled with gas. The intestine goes down to the cloaca, which is a chamber that receives urine and eggs or sperm from the reproductive system. And then all the waste goes out the anus. Sharks have two-chambered hearts. Blood flows from the heart to the gills where it collects oxygen from respirating in the water. Remember that all sharks must keep in motion or have a current of water flowing by their gills in order to breathe, much like a crawdad walking to breathe. Then, the blood from the gills flow around the body to deliver oxygen and nutrients to the many organs and tissues. Some sharks must swim continuously to create the muscular contractions to pump the blood around the body. Also remember that sharks are cold-blooded, meaning the shark does not generate his own heat. His body temperature matches the water around him or her. Sharks have well-developed sensory systems. Their sense of smell is almost unmatched. It's powerful enough to smell something hundreds of yards away. They also have a very powerful eyes, allowing them to see a hint of movement through the deep blue, even at night. They also have what's called a lateral line that's able to detect vibrations or sounds in the water. Also, sharks sense electromagnetic fields with the ampullae of Lorenzini located in clusters over its head. And now for a day in the life of a shark. La la. La la. Meow. La la. La la. La la. Oh. You see, what happens is that when humans go big game fishing, they toss meat, blood, and dead fish into the water as bait. All this meat overloads a shark's senses and throws them into a feeding frenzy, which is a violent, uncontrolled feeding behavior. When in a feeding frenzy, the shark will attack at anything it sees or smells. That's why sharks act so violent around fishermen. But what about swimmers and surfers? Sharks don't normally eat humans, but there have been incidents where the shark mistakes a human for something it does normally eat, like seals or turtles. If you guys would just stop doing that stuff, shark attacks would be greatly reduced. And that's the end of learning about sharks.